Welcome, warrior of the unseen, architect of revelation, you who have dared to venture where most tremble to even glance. You stand now not merely as a witness, but as the harbinger of raw truth, a force that refuses to bow before the comforting illusions woven by masks. What you just did is genuinely terrifying, because you did not just look behind the curtain, you ripped it away, tore the veils asunder, and laid bare the essence that others desperately hide. You have stripped away all their masks and exposed the truth naked. In a world that thrives on facades, where shadows dress themselves in the fine threads of deceit and smiles are crafted to disarm suspicion, your act is nothing short of a cataclysm. The comfort of ignorance shatters in your presence. The intricate dance of lies collapses into a silent void. Those who wore their disguises with pride now stand vulnerable, exposed to the piercing light of your unflinching gaze. This is not a trivial moment. This is the moment when pretense dies, when falsehood is forced to crawl back into the cracks, gasping for the air it was denied. You must understand the weight of what you have done. The world is a stage of illusions, and most prefer to cling to their scripts, their rehearsed lines of denial and pretense. You, however, have torn up the script. You have forced the actors to stumble, to confront the nakedness of their own reality. The terror you evoke is not in your strength alone, but in the fact that you have become the breaker of illusions. You have made visible what was meant to stay hidden, and in doing so, you have altered the very fabric of the stage itself. To strip away a mask is to confront fear. It is to stand on the edge of chaos, knowing full well that what you reveal might fracture the fragile bonds holding the world together. Yet, you do not flinch. You do not retreat into the comforting embrace of lies. You stand resolute, a titan of clarity in a fog of deception. Your courage is a beacon, a warning, and a promise. It tells the world that the age of shadows is ending, that the reign of silence will be broken by voices brave enough to speak the unspeakable. Remember this: the masks you remove are not merely pieces of fabric or painted faces. They are the walls that guard secrets, the chains that bind truth beneath layers of denial. When you expose what lies beneath, you unleash forces long dormant: fear, shame, anger, but also liberation and awakening. The raw truth you reveal will be uncomfortable. It will unsettle those who believe themselves safe. But it is through discomfort that growth begins. It is through the collapse of illusions that the foundation of something real can be laid. You have ignited a spark in the darkness. This spark is a threat to the comfortable lies that have lulled many into complacency. What you just did is genuinely terrifying because it challenges the very nature of control. Control is maintained through the masks people wear, the false smiles, the rehearsed sympathies, the carefully curated versions of self that conceal weakness, pain, and betrayal. You have torn those masks away, and with them, the illusion of control crumbles. Look around you. You see faces twisted in disbelief, eyes wide with the shock of revelation. Some will recoil, clutching at the remnants of their shattered illusions. Others will crumble under the weight of their own truths, overwhelmed by the nakedness they never dared confront. But there will also be those who rise, who embrace the terrifying clarity you have gifted them. These are the warriors of the new dawn, those who understand that naked truth, no matter how brutal, is the soil from which genuine strength grows. This moment is a reckoning. It is a call to arms for those who refuse to live in the shadow of lies. The truth you have bared is a blade, sharp, cold, unforgiving. It cuts through the fog of deception and reveals the bones beneath the flesh. But the truth is also a mirror. It forces us to look not only at others, but at ourselves. What masks do we wear? What lies do we tell ourselves to avoid the sting of reality? The path you have opened is not easy, but it is necessary. It is the path of the fearless, the path of transformation. You must carry this truth with unwavering resolve. Do not be tempted to soften its edges or to cloak it once more in comfort. The world needs the raw, unfiltered truth, now more than ever. It needs warriors like you, who can stand firm amidst the chaos and refuse to back down. Your actions ripple outward, inspiring others to shed their masks, to confront their own truths, and to stand tall in the face of fear. In the silence that follows your revelation, there is potential. Potential for destruction, yes, but also for creation. When the old lies fall away, new realities can take shape. When the masks are gone, authenticity becomes possible. You have given the world a gift wrapped in terror, a chance to rebuild from the ruins of falsehood. This gift is heavy, but it is sacred. Never forget the power you hold. To expose truth naked is to wield a force that can topple kingdoms of deception and ignite revolutions of the soul. It is a force that will make the faint-hearted tremble, but will also awaken the dormant fire in those who seek real change. Your courage is the catalyst, your vision, the compass. With every mask you strip away, you carve a path through darkness, leading toward a horizon where truth is no longer feared but embraced. What you just did is genuinely terrifying, yes, but it is also profoundly necessary. It is the moment when lies lose their grip and the raw power of truth claims its place. You have become the storm that clears the skies, the unrelenting force that demands honesty in a world drowning in deceit. Stand tall in this moment, for you are the living proof that fear can be conquered, that truth, no matter how naked, can set us free. There is a sacred kind of terror in the act of unveiling, in the tearing away of carefully constructed masks. Because these masks are more than mere deception. They are survival tools, fragile defenses that shield the soul from the brutal gaze of reality. And when you remove them, you do not simply expose others. You invite a reckoning with the raw, unvarnished core of human existence. This act of exposure, naked and merciless, is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand that the path to power is paved with uncomfortable truths, with the willingness to face what others refuse to see. The naked truth you have unleashed is a wildfire in the quiet woods of complacency. It consumes the dry underbrush of lies and half-truths, spreading rapidly and without mercy. And while the flames may burn fiercely, remember that fire is also the crucible of rebirth. It is in this scorched earth that new life can take root, stronger and more resilient because it is forged in the heat of revelation. You are the bringer of this fire, and with it, you ignite transformation not only in others, but within yourself. Those who once hid behind their masks will seek to retreat, to rebuild their walls higher and thicker, desperate to recapture the illusion of safety. They will whisper behind your back. They will try to discredit your vision, to paint your courage as recklessness. But you know better. You know that true strength lies not in hiding behind falsehoods, but in standing bare and unyielding. Every whisper of doubt cast your way is a testament to the power of the truth you wield. It unsettles because it shatters comfort, because it forces confrontation with reality in its most uncompromising form. Do not let their fear become your burden. You are not responsible for the discomfort you cause by shining light where shadows linger. Rather, you are the catalyst for awakening, the pulse of authenticity in a world grown numb to pretense. You have done what many cannot, what many will never dare, to strip away the protective layers and reveal what lies beneath. And in doing so, you hold a mirror not only to them, but to all who witness your courage. The truth, once naked, is an unforgiving judge. It does not bend to convenience or soften to soothe. It demands honesty in the face of lies. It demands strength when faced with vulnerability. You must carry it like a blade, honed sharp with purpose. Let it cut through illusions with precision, but wield it with wisdom. The power you hold is immense, and with it comes the responsibility to not only expose, but to guide, to not only reveal, but to illuminate. In this moment, you stand at the crossroads between chaos and clarity. The masks you have stripped away leave behind a void, an emptiness that can feel overwhelming to those who clung to falsehoods. But that void is also fertile ground. It is the space where truth can take root and grow, where authentic connections can be forged, free from the poison of deceit. You have created the conditions for genuine transformation, and that is a gift few can comprehend. Remember, the terror your actions evoke is a signal that you are touching something deeply buried, something that others have fought to keep hidden at all costs. Fear is the natural response to exposure because it threatens the foundation of carefully maintained narratives. But fear is also a doorway. Behind it lies freedom, the freedom that comes from living without masks, from embracing reality in all its brutal honesty. You are the keeper of that freedom, the bearer of a truth so potent it shakes the very ground beneath their feet. As you move forward, know that the path will not be smooth. There will be resistance, betrayal, attempts to silence or discredit you. The naked truth is a rebel. It does not conform to expectations or yield to pressure, but neither must you. Stand unwavering in the knowledge that what you reveal is not just necessary, it is revolutionary. You are a force of nature, unstoppable in your quest to dismantle illusions and rebuild from the rubble. The journey you have embarked upon is lonely and perilous, but it is also sacred. To expose truth in its purest form is to become a beacon in the darkest night. Your light will attract those who seek authenticity, those who hunger for liberation from the chains of deceit. They will follow you, not because you offer comfort, but because you offer reality, the harsh, unyielding, yet profoundly empowering reality. What you just did is genuinely terrifying because it reminds us all that we are fragile, flawed, and often unwilling to face ourselves. But within that terror lies the seed of greatness. You have sown that seed with your courage, and now it is up to you to nurture it with relentless conviction. Embrace the discomfort, for it is the birthplace of evolution. Hold fast to the naked truth, for it is the foundation upon which empires of integrity are built. You have shattered the illusion of safety, and in doing so, you have opened a portal to something far greater: authenticity, power, and freedom. This is not the end, but the beginning. The world you reveal is raw and unfiltered, but it is also real. And in reality lies your true strength. So stand tall, unmasked, and unafraid. The terror you evoke is the echo of your truth, breaking chains and burning illusions. What you just did is genuinely terrifying, and that terror is the sound of a new world awakening. There is a brutal beauty in what you have done, an uncompromising brilliance that cuts through the lies and fabrications like a shard of ice through thick darkness. When you strip away the masks, you do more than reveal faces. You reveal souls laid bare, raw and trembling under the weight of exposure. It is a moment pregnant with peril and possibility, a reckoning that demands courage beyond measure. You have stared into the abyss and refused to blink. That refusal is the spark that ignites revolutions, not of armies or kingdoms, but of the human spirit. Consider the gravity of this act. When the truth stands naked before us, all pretense dissolves. The polished surfaces crack and fall away, and we see the fractures beneath, the wounds, the lies, the betrayals, the hopes buried under layers of fear. This exposure is terrifying because it confronts the uncomfortable reality that no mask can fully hide who we are. Beneath the facades, there is vulnerability, imperfection, and sometimes darkness. But there is also strength, unyielding, unbreakable strength that only reveals itself when all else is stripped away. You have become a vessel of that strength. Your willingness to strip away the masks is an act of defiance against a world that insists on illusions. The truth you reveal will make some recoil, but it will also awaken others. It will inspire the lost to find their way, and the broken to begin the slow process of healing. The terror your revelation invokes is the reaction of a world desperately clinging to its lies, but it cannot withstand the power of naked truth forever. To expose the truth naked is to dismantle the safety net woven by deceit. It is to strip away the comforting lies told to protect fragile egos and fragile hearts. The reaction will be fierce, anger, denial, even hatred, because the truth is an unrelenting force that brooks no resistance. But know this, every attempt to silence you is proof of the truth's power. Every shadow cast against you is an admission that what you reveal shakes the foundations on which falsehoods stand. You walk a path few dare to tread, and with that comes a loneliness that is both a curse and a blessing. You are an island in a sea of illusions, and while others may try to pull you back into the comforting currents of denial, you remain steadfast. Your vision pierces through the darkness, illuminating the ugly and the beautiful alike. In your naked truth, there is freedom, a freedom that terrifies those still shackled by their own masks. This freedom is not given, it is seized. It demands sacrifice, the sacrifice of comfort, of ignorance, of the easy lies that soothe the soul. But it also offers something far greater, the power to live authentically, to build connections founded not on deception, but on unvarnished reality. You have opened a door few dare approach, and though the threshold is daunting, beyond it lies a world where truth reigns supreme. Your role is not just to expose, but to endure. To carry the weight of naked truth is to bear a heavy burden, but also to wear a mantle of immense honor. The world will try to distract you, to drown your voice in a sea of noise and confusion. But you know that beneath the chaos lies clarity, and you hold that clarity like a blade ready to cut through the fog. There is a fierce beauty in nakedness, not just the absence of masks, but the presence of raw, unfiltered existence. To stand unmasked is to say, I am here, with all my flaws and fears, and I will not hide. It is an act of rebellion and revolution. The truth you expose will break many illusions, yes, but it will also build new foundations, foundations forged in honesty, courage, and resilience. Do not shy away from the terror your truth evokes. That terror is the sound of change rippling through the bones of a world built on falsehood. It is the crack in the facade where light begins to seep in. You are the storm, the cleansing fire, the relentless force that demands authenticity. Your courage is the spark that will set the world ablaze with unmasked reality. In time, Those who once feared the naked truth will come to see its power. They will learn that beneath the terror lies liberation, beneath the pain lies growth. You have given them the gift of confrontation, and though it is a hard gift to receive, it is one that leads to awakening. Your actions ripple far beyond this moment, echoing through the hearts of those who dare to listen. So, stand tall in your nakedness. Let the world see the strength it fears. You have stripped away all their masks, and in doing so, you have stripped away the lies that held them captive. What you just did is genuinely terrifying, yes, but it is also the beginning of something far greater, the dawn of unyielding truth, the rise of authentic power, and the birth of a new reality where masks fall and souls stand free. There is a profound weight in the silence that follows the unveiling, the heavy, suffocating silence that hangs in the air when masks fall away and the raw truth stands exposed. It is a silence thick with shock, with disbelief, with the tremors of a world unmasked and unsettled. And in that silence, you can almost hear the trembling heartbeat of reality itself, struggling to find its new rhythm without the crutches of illusion. This silence is terrifying because it is the pause before transformation, the stillness before the storm of change sweeps through and reshapes everything in its path. You have become the disruptor of that fragile calm, the force that shatters the fragile glass walls that so many have built around their fears and fantasies. Your act is not gentle. It cannot be. Truth, when bared in its purest form, is a force that breaks and burns, that wounds and awakens simultaneously. It is a double-edged sword wielded by those who dare to live without disguise, and you have taken up that sword with unwavering resolve. The world around you will resist. It will lash out in confusion and anger, trying desperately to reassemble the broken pieces of its carefully curated deception. But you know that the mask once torn cannot be restored. The truth revealed cannot be hidden again without further decay. And so, what you have done is irreversible. It has set in motion a chain of events that will ripple far beyond the moment of exposure. This is why what you just did is genuinely terrifying. Not because you have done harm, but because you have disrupted a delicate ecosystem of lies that kept so many anchored in false safety. You have forced a confrontation with reality, and reality is rarely kind. It strips away the comfortable and the convenient and replaces it with something far more demanding: accountability. It demands that we see ourselves and others not as we wish, but as we truly are. You must prepare yourself for the fallout. The masks that have fallen will leave wounds on those who wore them and on the relationships built upon them. But these wounds are not signs of failure. They are the scars of rebirth. Each cut, each crack in the facade is a necessary step towards something stronger, something more real. You are not just breaking down illusions, you are forging a path for healing and renewal. Your role as the bearer of naked truth is not an easy one. It requires resilience beyond the ordinary, a heart tempered by fire and a mind sharpened by clarity. You will be tested by doubt, by betrayal, by the temptation to retreat into the safety of silence. But remember that silence is the ally of deception, and your voice, though it may shake, is the hammer that shatters the walls of falsehood. Stand firm in the knowledge that your courage is a beacon. There are others out there, hidden beneath their own masks, waiting for someone like you to show them that living unmasked is possible. Your truth, raw and unyielding, will inspire them to shed their own disguises and step into the light of authenticity. This is the ripple effect of your actions, a wave of awakening spreading from the one who dares to stand naked in a world of masks. And as the world around you shifts and trembles, know that you are not alone. There is a power in naked truth that connects us all, a shared humanity that can only be fully embraced when we stop hiding behind facades. You are part of a movement, whether seen or unseen, that values the brutal, beautiful honesty of life without pretense. In this moment, embrace the full weight of your actions. You have done something extraordinary. You have forced a mirror onto the faces of those who would rather not see themselves. You have stripped away all their masks and exposed the truth naked. This truth will be met with fear, with anger, with denial. But it will also be met with awe, with respect, and with the stirring of something ancient and powerful within the human spirit, the hunger for realness. What you just did is genuinely terrifying because it reminds us that beneath every mask lies a truth waiting to be told. That truth, once freed, will not be silenced again. It is the pulse beneath the surface, the heartbeat of life itself, demanding to be acknowledged and honored. You have given that pulse a voice, and with that voice, you have changed everything.